Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters, your Magic the Gathering source that helps you command your budget. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support. Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Quarters studio. Welcome to the show. So a brand new, exciting Commander Legends spoiler just got announced, so let's do a Commander Quick Take. Again, on Commander Quick Takes, my apologies if I misspeak, or if I say something wrong about the card or something else. Again, I'm trying to just show my reactions to the card, basically, and kind of talk about how I would build around this commander, or what kinds of decks it might be able to fit in. Without further ado, let's jump into it with Krark the Thumbless. This one, I believe, was spoiled by Gavin on Good Morning Magic. A 2/2 Goblin Wizard that costs 1 and a red. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, return that spell to its owner's hand. If you win the flip, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. And it's got partner. Notice that is partner, much like the other Commander Legends spoilers that we've seen so far. It's not partner with, so it's not a specific one. It's partner in general, so any other card that has partner, you can partner with it. Basically, there's been a couple that have been spoiled so far from Commander Legends. There's supposed to be quite a bit, but you can also partner with any of those kind of two-color pairings as well. It seems like this one's a very unique commander, one that could partner with quite a few. I'm just going to kind of, with this episode, kind of more so talk about on its own kind of what kind of a deck you'd build around it. Obviously, you would pick a second partner, but I'm not going to pick that partner for you. You can make that decision yourself. And basically, I'll talk about kind of cards in, a mono red deck, what you'd be using around this. We're not sure exactly what else is coming out in Commander Legends that might be able to really partner with this and maybe a coin flip effect. But let's just talk about this card on its own. So, Krark the Thumbless again. You might recognize that name, and we'll get to the specific card later. But basically, when you cast an instant or sorcery, one of two things happens. You either return that card back to your hand and nothing happens, or you get to copy it and basically get new targets for the copy. So this is kind of like much like its flavor text says, double or nothing. That's basically exactly what it is. So in this kind of a deck, I'd probably build like a spell slinger type of deck that's looking to really take advantage of casting spells and getting some really cool effects. The card actually that this Krark is known from is Krark's Thumb. It's a legendary artifact that costs 2 and says if you would flip a coin, instead flip 2 coins and ignore 1. This would work perfectly in this deck. Basically, Krark is getting reunited with his thumb, which is very flavorful. But also, again, you get to basically decide what the outcome of that coin flip is. Do you want that card returned back to your hand and nothing to happen? Or do you want to basically ensure that it goes through and that you get 2 copies? Again, it's not ensuring you get 2 coin flips instead of 1, essentially. So you're not guaranteed, but instead of having, a 50-50 shot, it is slightly better than that. It is definitely better than that. Anyways, I think 75-25. I'm not a mathematician. Anyways, let's move on, though. So basically, the kind of deck that I would build around this, again, is a Spell Slinger type build. I'd build a lot of kind of low CMC cards in there that can trip, like an Expedite. It's an instant that costs a red, says target creature gains haste until end of turn, draw a card. That haste part really isn't all that relevant, but the draw card is. So basically, again, if you cast this and it bounces back to your hand, really not that big of a deal. Again, you wasted 1 mana, try it again. And basically, when you do cast it, if it just does go through, you're basically paying, 1 mana to draw 2 cards, which can be very impactful. Now, again, I did mention earlier with Krark's Thumb, you can kind of, help decide which of those coins that you want to pick, or, basically kind of make it so that either the card gets bounced back to your hand or it gets copied. Now, most of the time people will be thinking, well, don't you always want it to kind of, go through and get copied? You never really want it to kind of not do anything or bounce back to your hand. There are some cards that can actually help you take advantage of that card being bounced back to your hand, basically, and then you can just keep recasting it for more and more effects. Like a Young Pyromancer. It says, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token. So having that Expedite, let's say you cast it, it gets bounced back to your hand because you lose the coin flip. You cast it, gets bounced back to your hand because you lose the coin flip. Basically, now you're just paying a red mana to create a 1/1. Which, again, doesn't seem like all that powerful of a thing, but, when you add that up throughout the game, being able to pretty much continuously create creature tokens for very cheap can be an incredibly powerful effect. And again, if you've got kind of more of these kinds of effects on the board, the more value you can get from recasting things. Even if that spell goes through, let's say that you win the coin flip, an Expedite draws you 2 cards, you're going to be drawing into more of those cantrippy type effects, more of those spells that are very low to the ground, low CMC, and you can keep casting more and more and more to then get more and more benefits, again, from those things on the field. Maybe you have a Gutter Snipe on the field. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Gutter Snipe deals 2 damage to each opponent. 2 damage for 1 red mana is an incredible deal, especially, again, if you keep getting that back over and over again, or again, even if you keep drawing deeper into your deck, getting more of those cantrips and doing more and more damage. Again, if you've got both those on the field, you're getting tokens and you're getting damage out there on your opponents. You can also have something out there like a Sentinel Tower. It says whenever an instant or sorcery spell is cast during your turn, Sentinel Tower deals damage to any target equal to 1 plus the number of instant and sorcery spells cast before that spell this turn. So basically, you're going to be casting more and more spells, kind of like an Aetherflux Reservoir. I'm trying only to really bring up budget-friendly-ish cards on this channel. I know Krark's Thumb, probably I should have mentioned, isn't really that budget. I think it's a $5 card or so. But basically, Sentinel Tower is kind of like a budget Aetherflux Reservoir-ish kind of card, where you're going to be able to ping down players and creatures with the more and more sorceries and instants that you are casting. Again, bouncing those cards back to your hand, not bad. Copying those cards, even better sometimes too. And another one that we can bring up too is Sphinx Bone Wand. It says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may put a charge counter on Sphinx Bone Wand. If you do, Sphinx Bone Wand deals damage to the equal to the number of charge counters on it to target creature or player. Kind of similar to Sentinel Tower, except this one kind of builds throughout the game and like stays that big. So it's not just based on the your storm count kind of in a turn. It's based off of kind of how many counters you can get on this thing. So at a certain point, you can dish out 10 plus damage for each instant sorcery you cast. So yeah, you're going to be dealing out a lot of damage again with those small cantrip effects. You can really ping down your opponents and do a lot of work from there. Something like Double Vision can really be handy in this deck as well. It says whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, copy that spell. You may choose targets for the copy. Again, there are probably better versions of this in other colors, like Swarm Intelligence in blue. So if you want to partner with a blue deck or a blue partner, that might be a good option. But yeah, Double Vision, let's just stick to the red ones for now. Basically, when you're casting, that Expedite, now you get an initial copy of that spell if that's the first spell you cast this turn. And then, if you win that coin flip, you get another copy and you get the spell itself. So that's 3 cards drawn for a red mana. And again, even if this gets bounced back to your hand, or not this gets bounced back to your hand, even if Expedite gets bounced back to your hand and you didn't, it didn't resolve because of the coin flip, you still get that first version with it because of Double Vision. So you're still paying a red mana, drawing a card, you get the spell right back, and then you can cast it again, and maybe it goes through that time. So this can provide you a crazy amount of value throughout the game, especially when you're casting some bigger things like maybe a Mana Geyser. This can be a fantastic way to kind of help you finish out a game if you flip in the proper way. A sorcery that costs 3 red says add red to your mana pool for each tap land your opponent's control. So yeah, basically you cast this, let's say you've got Double Vision on the field, you get a copy of it. Even if it gets bounced back to your hand, that's okay. You can still use that Mana Geyser generated to cast it again. Maybe it goes through that time, and then you get that as well as the copy of it as well. A ton of value, a way to get an absurd amount of red mana. Perhaps using some other kind of ritual effects with this as well to kind of really utilize those cantrips and to be able to kind of storm off in one turn with a giant kind of spell slinger storm and kind of casting more and more spells to get more and more benefits off the permanents that you have in play that are benefiting you whenever you cast instants and or sorceries. You can also, of course, play a card like Chance Encounter, which says whenever you win a coin flip, put a luck counter on Chance Encounter. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Chance Encounter has 10 or more luck counters on it, you win the game. So if you want to go in that kind of a direction or more of a coin flip direction, you definitely can with this kind of a commander. You're going to be casting a lot of instant sorceries, flipping a lot of coins, so chances are you can win with Chance Encounter as long as it stays on the field. Again, Krark definitely seems like a very flavorful commander, for what it is. Krark the Thumbless, even the name is very flavorful because, again, we've known Krark's Thumb for quite a long time. I think that came out back in Mirrodin. There's even an uncard that I think's Krark's other thumb. So basically he has no thumbs, and basically they are kind of good luck charms for coin flips. But with Krark the Thumbless, you get a lot of flavor. You can have a very interesting and unique build. And again, being very open because it is a partner commander. So again, you can add maybe one of those commanders that has 2 colors, or maybe one of the upcoming ones in Commander Legends that has just 1 color that can really work in either a Spellslinger build or one with Krark. I think the color that I would probably most want to add into this would probably be blue. So maybe be on the lookout for some Commander Legends commanders that have partner that have blue. So yeah, that's kind of my take on Krark the Thumbless though, but I'd love to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts on this commander are. What kind of cards did I miss? What kind of things did I miss talking about that would be really effective with Krark the Thumbless? So yeah, let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks again and have a good one.